Amidst the concrete landscape of a suburban apartment complex, nestled among towering evergreens, was apartment 303, a place where secrets whispered in the shadows and darkness held sway over the night. Within its walls lived a little girl named Jenny, her tender age of 8 belied by the burden she bore. Each weekday, as the final school bell rang and the sky dimmed with the approach of evening, Jenny trudged home with a heavy heart, dreading the hours that lay ahead. Locked out of her own home by the cruel hand of her stepfather, she sought refuge in the embrace of a majestic evergreen tree that loomed large in a magical forest steeped in her imagination. Its sturdy branches became her sanctuary, shielding her from the biting cold and the harsh winds that whipped through the night. Alone in the darkness, with hunger gnawing at her empty stomach and loneliness gnawing at her fragile heart, Jenny retreated into the recesses of her imagination. In her mind's eye, she conjured a world more gentle and caring than the one she inhabited, a world where kindness reigned and love knew no bounds. In this fantastical realm, Jenny found solace in the company of a squirrel she named Pip. Jenny watched as Pip scampered along the sturdy branches, his nimble movements a testament to his agility. But as he ventured too close to the edge, Jenny's voice broke the silence of the night. "Careful, Pip," she cautioned, her tone laced with concern. "That branch looks weak." Pip paused mid-scurry, his beady eyes meeting Jenny's with a flicker of understanding. With a chitter of acknowledgement, he adjusted his course, heeding Jenny's warning as they continued their silent vigil together. But as the night wore on and the cold seeped into her bones, Jenny counted down the moments until her mother's return, her internal clock attuned to the rhythm of her mother's night shift. And then, just as frostbite threatened to claim her tiny fingers and toes, a mystical voice whispered through the darkness, its words carrying a promise of salvation. "Come home, child," it beckoned, its tone both haunting and soothing. With a surge of hope and determination, Jenny descended from her leafy perch and made her way back to apartment 303, guided by the unseen hand of fate. As she reached the doorstep, her heart swelled with anticipation, longing for the warmth of her mother's embrace. But as the apartment building door swung open, revealing her mother's weary form waiting at the elevator, Jenny knew all too well that the menacing glare of her stepfather awaited her, and her hopes were dashed like so many fragile dreams. "Get to your bed," he chided, his voice tinged with disdain. As Jenny stood on the threshold of her so-called home, the bitter sting of reality washed over her like a wave, leaving her feeling more alone than ever before. The sense of fear and despair weighed heavy on her young shoulders as she realized that even within the supposed safety of her apartment, she remained trapped in a world of neglect and cruelty. With a heavy heart and trembling hand, Jenny turned away from the door, retreating to her room. In that moment, as the night stretched on endlessly, she realized her struggle for escape was far from over. Despite seeking refuge in her imaginary world, the harsh reality of her situation lingered like a shadow, waiting to strike. As she lay beneath her blanket, tense with anticipation, a chill ran down her spine. Still hungry, Jenny sought solace once more in the safety of her sanctuary, the branches of the evergreen tree. In her dreams, the chilling whisper of the wind echoed her deepest fears, enveloping her in uncertainty and despair. Suddenly, the covers were violently ripped from her tiny grasp, leaving her exposed in the cold night air. Fear gripped her heart as each blow echoed through the darkness like a thunderclap. Desperate to escape the pain, Jenny clung to the magic of the evergreen tree, in Pip's whispered words of comfort. Yet, even as she surrendered to her imagination, the echoes of her torment lingered, casting a shadow over her fragile peace. As the first light of dawn began to seep through the curtains, Jenny remained on the floor curled in the fetal position. Her body battered and welts raced across her skin, her spirit broken like unkept promises. Yet, even in the depths of despair, she clung to the flickering flame of hope, knowing that one day, somehow, she would find the strength to break free from the darkness that threatened to consume her.